What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Backup Fantasy Sports. It is Wednesday, October 18th. My name is Ewan. On today's episode, we're going to get into some F1 fantasy with a Austin Grand Prix preview, the first weekend of a triple header in F1 fantasy and in Formula One in general. So buckle up, exciting times ahead, lots of ground to make up, lots of ground to lose, hopefully not, but we are going to get right into it with a Qatar Grand Prix review and just covering some topics as it's going to be a busy week. It's going to probably be a longer episode, so please check the timestamps in the episode description right below here. And as I pointed out there, just follow me on Twitter at UIN or UOut and like and subscribe to the channel. That would be super appreciated. But let's get right into it with a little table of contents here with the Qatar Grand Prix review. Gonna do something I saw on the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord this week. Just kind of go over that. Austin Grand Prix preview. We're going to follow the data dump, chip thoughts, transfers, upcoming races. We're going to get into all of it. So seriously, if you do not have time for this probably longer episode, please check out those timestamps below. First things first, like I said at the top, 5 races left. It's a triple header starting this weekend. So we got the Austin Grand Prix this weekend, then the Mexican Grand Prix, then the Brazilian Grand Prix, then a 2-week break, then Las Vegas, and then Abu Dhabi. So it's all the races are coming thick and fast at the end of the year. So make sure that you do not miss any deadlines. There's a sprint race this weekend and a sprint race in 2 weekends time. So Friday are going to be the lineup lock. So make sure you know all of your times, when to have them all done by, all that fun stuff. So just want to hit that right at the top, that there are a lot of races coming up. So be prepared for the end of the season. Looking back here on Qatar, qualifying was dominated by Max. The race was dominated by Max. But the sprint, Oscar Piastri getting his first race win of his young F1 career in his rookie season. Very impressive from the Australian. It was kind of a wild sprint race with people being on softs, and there's several safety cars and just all over the map. So it was a pretty entertaining weekend. There was on Sunday, because of the heat and like track limits and tire worries, there was 3 pit stops mandated, several DNFs. Swings were all over the place, and we're going to get into that with the subs tracker. But Max Verstappen having a pretty good weekend. If you use the extra DRS boost on him this weekend, not as good as Austria because he did not win the sprint, but pretty good overall. Qatar Grand Prix facts and stats here. Optimal team, Red Bull, McLaren, Verstappen with the DRS, Piastri, Norris, Russell, and then you could have gone with Kevin Magnussen or Alexander Albon, and that would have netted you a cool 455 points. Massive on a sprint weekend. Positions gained, Zhou Guanyu with 11, Albon, Magnussen, and Perez with 10 each. Overtakes, Magnussen, Russell, and Norris all with 13, and then the fastest pit stop was McLaren, set the world record, 1.8 seconds on a pit stop. Just like, wow. And Ferrari coming in with 5 points there. Best supporting actor, just a cheesy title for Oscar Piastri for his second Driver of the Day award, back-to-back actually for him. Qualified 6th after McLaren struggled with the track limits in Q3 on Friday night, but made up for it in the race and was especially good in the sprint on Saturday. Gained 4 positions on the weekend, 9 overtakes, 56 total fantasy points. It was the 7th highest score of the year among all drivers. So very impressive. Max Verstappen has dominated that category, but Piastri came through with 56. Massive score for the rookie. And his 38.3 points per race over the last 3 is the second best on the grid behind that same Dutchman, Max Verstappen. Team review for me, 392 points. I had two transfers. I used them. I got rid of Checo Perez. I was done with him after Japan. I was also done with Logan Sargent. So I got Sonoda in. Didn't really move my rank all that much. I think I fell about 400 places. So I'm clinging inside that top 8,000 as of right now. But I do have 3 chips to go, including the Limitless. So we will see how that works out. Carlos Sainz with an unfortunate DNS, so -14 for him, but was feeling pretty good going into Sunday. I know a lot of people final fixed Carlos Sainz out of their team, so good job by them. That was some pay attention to it. That's going to get your reward there. So clinging inside the top 8,000 here, but still some time to make up some ground. Still shooting for like at least top 5K by the end of the year. I know some of the other F1 content creators are having fantastic seasons, including Tom. He's in the top 1,000 right now. So shout out to him for he's been making some excellent moves. Speaking of moves, on the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord, there is a user over there, goes by Grizzly, and he came up with the tracking his subs to see how he would have done throughout the season. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. So shout out to him. Thank you for letting me kind of steal this for the video this week. But so what you pretty much do is you just track all your subs throughout the season and see how they would have done if you had just not made the sub. And it is not good for your mental health to do this. It is super depressing. As you can see there, total points down at the very bottom for me. I have gained 159 points from my substitutions over the year, over the entire season. But like, just looking back on some of the moves that I made, Sargent to DeVries, Joe to Sonoda for 2 -15s. In Japan, I went from Sainz to Perez and Sonoda to Sargent, and it cost me 52 points. That is brutal. Just killer. Logan Sargent absolutely destroyed me that weekend. Thank goodness I didn't have him this weekend with 2 DNFs. But yeah, it's definitely a fun exercise. Log on, join the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord. You can go see how all of the people did there. But yeah, 159 points gained through my substitutions this season. It was an interesting exercise. And as you can see here, that I think what the biggest thing I kind of took from it overall was the second half of the season has been so much fun. Like if you see this left column here, -4, -15, 1, 6, 6, like not big swings at all. But then as soon as the summer break came around, Hungary, 56 points. Netherlands, I got 75-point swing. Singapore, another 62-point swing. And then even last weekend in Qatar was a 34-point swing. So definitely interesting to see just how the season's kind of broken down into 2 halves. And it's been a lot more fun since McLaren got in the mix for our F1 fantasy tools or F1 fantasy teams. But yes, once again, shout out to Grizzly for letting me use the idea for this week's video. Austin Grand Prix preview. It's going to be dry. It's going to be hot, not as hot as it has been most of the year for Texas, but sprint weekend, that should be interesting. 5.513 kilometers long, 56 laps, 20 corners, 2 DRS zones, and the first Grand Prix here was 2012. Last year, and these results, I haven't taken a ton over the course of the season about like previous results with just like it was the first year of the new regs with the new cars. Like, is there a ton to learn there? But looking at these results does have me thinking limitless this weekend. Just thinking that Mercedes, who are bringing upgrades, they're bringing a floor upgrade to kind of, they're using these upgrades now at this point in the season. I believe I read that they're using all of these upgrades to focus on the 2024 car. But on the Missed Apex podcast from last week, Spanners and Matt Trumpets were talking about the how bumpy Austin can be. So I'm wondering if a new floor for Mercedes could help them in Austin. Just something to think about there. Just a little tidbit I heard around the F1 circles, and also Haas bringing massive upgrades, moving towards the Red Bull concept, I heard this weekend. So, kind of a lot to watch out for. Keep an eye on all those like news as it trickles out over the next couple of days before lineups lock. Watch the weekend warm up from F1 on their YouTube channel. It's always fantastic. Unfortunately, because it's a sprint weekend, we're not going to get the practice debrief that we usually get where we can get a lot of data, but just keep an eye on Twitter, on X, and I'm sure little tidbits will come out there to help your F1 fantasy team. The schedule for the weekend: classic sprint weekend, free practice one, qualifying on Friday, then the sprint takes over Saturday, and Sunday is the Grand Prix. Lineup locks, I'll hit it again at the end here, but 4 p.m. Texas time, 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be 10 p.m. UK time. So for us European F1 fantasy guys, we're going to have a late night staying up and preparing our F1 teams. As I was about to do that, we should just check in on the weather for this weekend. So let me just go over here. Gonna go to AccuWeather to find out the latest weather as of right now. Here we are. Gonna go over here to the daily. I'm assuming it will be hot, so that will shouldn't be too much if you're looking for like a no negative or anything like that. But here we go. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Whew, 96 degrees. I do not consent. 96 degrees, 0% chance of rain on Friday, 91 on Saturday with a 1% chance of rain. And then Sunday, coolest day of the weekend, 89 degrees, 3% chance of rain. So not a lot of bother going on. You don't have to worry about the rain all that much, which is quite nice. So anyways, let's get back to this here. If my computer will cooperate, let's see. Here we go. I'm trying to go back to the slideshow. Following the data, just updating this from last week, or the Qatar Grand Prix, when I went through all of the practice debriefs, and just kind of showed how good F1.com was for all that stuff. So qualifying, they'll always give they give the order for qualifying and the race, and I was kind of just rating them on if they get the top 3 right in exact order or if anyone is in there at all. 73% on the year for qualifying, 37.5% for the exact order, 72% for top 3 in the race, and 50% for the exact order. So still good job by F1.com. I am hoping that we can use this a little bit more for the Mexican Grand Prix next weekend. As with the sprint, these articles don't come out, the data doesn't come out fast enough. There's not enough data with just one free practice session to really gain any edges. But since I did this research, it's been back-to-back sprint weekends. So hopefully I will update this for the Mexican Grand Prix next weekend, and we can use it to our advantage for that race. Data dump here. Gonna kind of switch up how many races I go for the rest of the season, but points per race, last 5 for the driver. It's Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, Sainz, and Hamilton. Best points per million for the last 5 is Piastri, Alonso, Gasly, and Verstappen as well. Best points per race for the last 5 among the constructors is Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin. And just to go over those points, since the constructor is pretty close, Red Bull 69.2 points over the last 5, McLaren 68, Ferrari 50.8, Mercedes 45.6, and Aston Martin is 28.4. And best points per million over the last 5, McLaren at 4.98, Aston Martin 2.64, Red Bull 2.4, Haas 2.22, and Ferrari 2.16. So Haas up there, best points per million in the value. That's pretty interesting, especially with them bringing the new upgrades this weekend, but don't think they're going to squeeze into any of our lineups, unfortunately. Chip strategy. It is game time. There are 5 races left. I have 3 chips remaining. Where am I going to use them? Sprint races are usually where you would want to use these chips. Shout out to all the guys and gals that used their limitless at Monza. Worked out perfectly for them. Um, I am considering the limitless chip if Mercedes looks strong. With like, I could go Max with the 2 Mercedes, Red Bull, um, and double Ferrari, that kind of deal. Just hoping that the pricier assets come to play this weekend. So hopefully we can get enough information from free practice 1 and just kind of from the excellent Twitter sources that are out there kind of to leave us wondering what's going on. But this is my general plan. I'm going to use the limitless chip one of these 2 sprint weekends, and I'm going to use the autopilot chip one of these 2 sprint weekends. I'm leaning towards the autopilot chip for Brazil just because that can be kind of like weird and wacky weather when they go to Interlagos. And I might just use the wild card for Abu Dhabi if I need to take a big swing, make some transfers to create some budget and not want to take any hits there and just save that for the final race of the year. But I know there's a lot of people with extra DRS and limitless left, kind of like we've all either used one of them or all of them. And I would say extra DRS, if you have extra DRS and limitless left, I would prefer to use the extra DRS this weekend because, like we just showed with the weather, it's going to be dry. Red Bull's going to do pretty well around here. So it's a safe bet to go with Max. And then you get to play the 2 times driver or the 2-time DRS on like Lando. If you've got him, even Oscar would be a good idea. So I think that would be the safest way to go. And then the limitless you can save for Brazil. I have the limitless and the auto left, so I'm going to have to use one of them either weekend. Can't see the weather that far out to Brazil. So it's going to be one of those things. But I think autopilot for Brazil, weird, wacky weather, sprint weekend, could get a huge total from someone in my lineup that outscores Max. So that might be the way to go about it for me. Nothing in Vegas and nothing in Mexico right now. Upcoming races, going to hit this one more time. So triple header starting this weekend. We've got the Austin Grand Prix, we've got the Mexican Grand Prix, and the Brazilian Grand Prix. Back to back to back weekends. 2 of those weekends are sprints. You got to make sure that all of these are in, like, not your calendar. You just got to kind of be cognizant of when these lineup locks, especially because they're East Coast times, Central times. It gets kind of tricky over there in the States. So make sure you've got that all on lock. I do want to kind of go over my transfers if I don't use a chip this week. So let's go here to, Alonso. So here we go. Got 2 free transfers. This is how the squad is looking right now. Verstappen, Sainz, Lando, Oscar, Tsunoda, McLaren, and Red Bull. There's not a ton that I can do, but what I did put in the F1 Fantasy Tools this week or today, actually, people were asking about some early teams. So I was wondering if I can get away with George Russell and then Ferrari. That leaves me with 4.8. I could also use that. I could also get rid of Tsunoda, and that gets me. I'm going to be able to get the pocket rocket who keeps shooting up in value, Alexander Albon. This would kind of cover all of my bases. If I'm not feeling the limitless chip or the auto, I'll probably just activate the wild card because I'll have to take a hit to get these 3 transfers in. But if it's kind of tough to tell who's going to be good, if there's not like a huge lean in like the weekend warm up or from any of the free practice times, I am considering using the wild card and just like getting the best Red Bull, tripling up on McLaren because I believe they're cheap enough and they're still shooting up in value. Get me some Mercedes exposure, covering myself with Ferrari in case they're strong, and Alexander Albon just because he's doing pretty well this year. Let's just check it out here. 23 points, 12 points, 12 points, 17, 19. He just has the DNF in Japan. Like solid scoring since Monaco, really, for the Thai driver. So this is an option that I would be thinking about if I don't activate the chip. Thanks to the limited interface here, I can't just build a limitless lineup for us, but Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, that would be fun. I guess the other option would be if how see. Yeah, I would be just short. I could do Hamilton and Nico. Haas upgrades, could they be that strong? So that could be another option. But I wouldn't feel as good about it. Also, the thing that we need to consider is that Danny Rick is coming back this weekend. I'm not sure he's an F1 option, but if you have Liam Lawson in your lineup, you are going to have to get him out, and that's going to cost you a transfer. At least that's how it worked earlier in the season for our lineups. So definitely something to consider there. But that is probably going to be a Friday decision for me. I'm going to try and do a better job with like YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, just kind of put out a quick lineup there. So stay tuned to the channel for that. If I can get after practice 1 on Friday, I will try to get a little YouTube short up so I can kind of give my final thoughts. But yeah, we're back to these lineup locks here. Local time 4 p.m., UK time 10 p.m., US Eastern time 5 p.m. But that will do it for this week's episode of Backup Fantasy Sports, covering the Austin Grand Prix preview. Once again, like and subscribe to the channel. Would super appreciate. You can follow me on Twitter at you out with a sprint weekend. Going to be tweeting a lot. Hopefully, this guy, I'm not going to put him in my lineup, but Logan Sargent, we'll see how he can do in front of his home crowd. Don't have high hopes. Maybe just not even like DNFing would be nice. But like I said at the top of the video, please check the timestamps. I know this was a longer video. There was a lot to cover, which is exciting. And it's good to kind of be excited about F1 fantasy. Like I was talking about with the subs in hindsight, it was kind of a boring first half. So it's very exciting with how good the second half of the season has been. But yes, one more time, like, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. I'm pretty sure I'm on 99 subscribers right now. So if you want to feel special and make me love you that bit more, you can be my 100th subscriber, get to triple digits before the weekend kicks off. I would super appreciate it. But once again, thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next time.